Why hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder. I'm Corny Swiss, and in this video I'm going to drive out the SU-122 and the Panzer IV F2. And before we get started with this gameplay, as we're driving over, this is in a realistic battle, by the way, on Carpathians. I wanted to thank everyone who came out to the live stream on yesterday. You know, kind of in the afternoon. I had fun doing it. I know there's some technical issues. I was using the wrong microphone for about something like 60-70% of the stream, and it was. And I know what that microphone sounds like. It is not a good microphone. It's the built-in one, so the fan is real audible. But in the end, I got it sorted to where I'm using the same microphone I use for this video, which is on my headset, which is a much better microphone. So we sorted through all the technical issues, and I had a lot of fun playing with y'all. So I'm going to be streaming again tonight around 6 to 7 Eastern time. I'll post a video maybe about 30 minutes before, or just to say, you know, I'm going to turn it on and get everything set up, you know, come hang out, and it should be good fun. So it's an opportunity to get some games, and you know, and I like playing with y'all. I really have to schedule time for it just because I'm kind of a busy dude right now. But anyway, so I wanted to thank y'all for coming out. It was cool. In this game, I'm driving the SU-122 in realistic, as I said. Now, the SU-122 has that derp gun, right, which is cool. The issue you have is that the rate of fire isn't great, and the armor isn't great. It's basically T-34 armor, just not sloped quite as hard. Because when you look at it, it is a T-34 chassis. It's just been modified to hold a gun like the 122mm gun, primarily to counter, you know, Tigers and Panthers and such things, just as a stopgap measure. In this battle, I feel like this tank is more suited to the support and, well, basically the support role, in the sense that I want the medium tanks to run out there and take hits and do things like that. I don't really want to do that because I can't take the hits, and I got such a low rate of fire, so it's going to be an issue for me. So ideally, I came to this position because it gives me overwatch of their approach to the cap, and gives me really solid cover in this giant rock I'm sitting next to. So I can sit back there, reload in peace, pop out, and try and give this this Jagdpanzer some of the good news. And right here I'm switching to heat because I'm not convinced in my ability to really hurt him at this range. Yeah, I can if I get a good hit in on him, but as you can see, the HE was just bouncing off his sloped armor. Well, bouncing as much as HE does. I was hitting him and I was doing damage, but it was all ricochet from shrapnel. And this is kind of why I don't like heat shells. I have to aim so high that the muzzle velocity is just so low that I just can't use them a lot of times. So I'm switching back to HE. But something you should take away from these derpy type of tanks is that they are not prone to really super big games just because of the rate of fire and things like that. This guy gave the good news too. But I hit the gun next to him and blew off his track. So at least now I know his exact range, and I have an idea of where I should be hitting him. With this, against 3Ms, 3Ns, anything with spaced armor on the side, it's in your best interest to try and you want to try and hit him in the turret. Oh, excuse me. A little bit of a cough, I'm sorry. You want to try and hit him in the turret because they don't have spaced armor on there, and you're more than likely to kill the gunner or someone. And that'll at least disable them if it doesn't just straight up blow their ammo. So, ideally, if you're in one of those tanks, the best thing to do would be to angle yourself and present as much of that side armor as possible. And that hit cam told me that I actually hit like a rock in front of that guy, which I think is kind of weird. But I mean, as you can see, I've been doing work over here. I'm in a position that's, I think, critical to winning this game in the sense I'm holding them up because they really don't want to advance with me over here. I gave that Stug the good news, that's for sure. But this Jagdpanzer is a little bit of an issue for me. I like what he's doing right now in the sense that he was angled down, but it doesn't matter because a teammate got him. But when you see an enemy like that, it's always a good idea to just aim at the roof of their tank because the roof of that tank will not bounce one of these shells. Your shell will get inside that tank and blow it sky high. But at this point we have an ally pushing across the field and towards our spawn, which means my position is basically useless. We've secured the cap area, and we're actually, I think, going to have a heavy tank, I believe it's a KV-2, move in to start capping. And this isn't a particularly full game, but there were, you know, I think it was like a 5-on-5, 6-on-6. So there are some of their team that I think that, to me, are unaccounted for. And I suspect that they were flanking around the east over there. But more importantly, I kind of want to get up there and help the teammate who's pushing over towards their spawn, because they are undoubtedly going to be there because they have to respawn if they want to try and spread the good news to our team. But tips and tricks for the SU-122 in like realistic and simulator. It needs to be a sneaky tank. It's not a bruising tank destroyer. You really need to be sneaky with it because people know how to kill these things because they get really scared and run away. But it's also important to kind of figure out ranging and things like that. Like that, interesting thing about that shell. I set him on fire, but then he was then allies shot him right after that and destroyed him. Initially I thought my shell had killed him, but that was not the case. This flak trucks are annoying. The thing is, if I show him my side armor, he can actually hurt me. So it's a little bit of an issue for me. But I wanted to show this this clip just to demonstrate maybe some tactics to use when trying to play these tanks with these long reloads and very derpy guns that are difficult to get on target. To me, the key is you gotta play a few games, take it out and test drive and like realistic and sim, and really have a go. You know, shoot targets at range, figure out what targets look like and how much you need to get that gun up to, and what it feels like to be shooting targets at that range. But anyway, let's move on to the next replay. And this is halfway through a battle. This is a replay on Poland in arcade mode, because I like playing arcade when I just want to chill out and shoot some tanks. That guy's kind of at range. That wasn't a well-led shot. But what's previously happened is I ran over to the northern side of the town, on the edge of the town, and killed an enemy tank, but then I got knocked out myself. It wasn't terribly interesting. But I wanted to kind of show, like, I guess this is a prime example of why I really love city maps and what it's going to be coming up. And if you were at the live stream and you saw some of the pain trains we put together of Tiger 2H's in the city, and it was just a ball of just metal and armor and power just coming down streets. And you're going to kind of get a feel for that in this game. Now, granted, the F2 doesn't have a great deal of armor, but I mean, it wasn't really designed as a true anti-tank tank, I guess you want to call it. It was designed more for the support role, the infantry support role. Panzer IIIs are the ones that should be knocking out tanks, not Panzer IVs. However, the longer 75mm gun is great for knocking out tanks. It just has a more effective HE shell than the 50mm. And here's a Panzer IIJ, or Panzer IIIJ rather. I haven't really been able to play my Panzer IIIJ very much yet, but hopefully I'll get a chance to in the future. I might try and do a review on it. I think I'm gonna do the 3L first, but I mean, because they're both good tanks in my opinion. And I like how you can see from the hit cam why I'm not killing this guy right away. So he's on fire again, which is cool. Aim up a little more, and I only hit because it goes right through the this gun shield and doesn't really damage anything else. And now you can see we have 3 tanks on this little road, 2 F2s and I think a 3L next to me. And they have there's enemy tanks coming into the town here. That guy just lost his loader. It's a F1, so I'm not that worried about him. And that shell caused some serious damage to his crew. So don't feel bad sitting in front of his gun. Usually you don't want to sit in front of anyone's gun in this tank. But you can see, this is what I'm talking about though with these maps, is that this is going to become just a cluster of tanks. You have these enemy tanks up in front of me. You have allied tanks to my right, allied tanks to my left. And we're all just shooting into this little gap and spreading the good news of our Lord and Savior 75mm round. That guy's trying to hide there. It's a 3L, so he's a very dangerous tank. But I really like when maps sort of devolve into this type of fighting, where you have your side scraping multiple corners. You're relying on your teammates to keep the flanks secure, and you're securing the flanks, and you're pushing through the city, and really getting after the enemy and engaging at very close range. It kind of takes away the whole in realistic and sim. In sim, I think it's fantastic because it's so hard to kind of keep aware of what's going on without real good communication with your team. In realistic, it's a little easier because you can spot tanks and things like that. But in arcade, it's just a free-for-all, just a melee down here. Because you basically know where to shoot everybody, so it turns into just a brawl in the city, and I really like that, especially when it's center cap. It's just a really, really fun game when that happens. And for some reason I get Poland a lot, which you might be wondering, like, why do I see so many Poland games from this guy? Well, the reason is because I get the map a lot, and I'm not sad about it. It's sneakily becoming one of my favorite maps. I think Jungle was sort of in that role for me, but that was because I'd had a lot of really good games on it. I think in terms of design, I like Poland the best. Mozdok I actually haven't seen in a really, really long time. Like, I think a really long time actually. I haven't seen Mozdok. And I'd like to, because it gives me a chance to sort of look at the map again and get a better idea of what's going on there. But I'm kind of in trouble here. We're about to win, which is why I push forward so hard. But I've definitely taken a lot of damage, and that T60 is right there, and I would definitely want to kill him, but I'm gonna get some good news from the enemy here. I'm kind of like moving forward so I can shoot at the T60, but apparently I missed or hit something, and I get wrecked by arty shell. Hits the back of my tank, watch this, and shrapnels and just kills everybody. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed these 2 replays. I hope the tips and tricks with the SU-122 help you out. But I've been Corny Swiss, and I'll see you next time. If you want to, join me tonight for a live stream about 6 to 7 Eastern time for about 3 or 4 hours. So anyway, good luck out there, and I'll see you next time.